You're watching KLTX, Channel 15, serving the city of Lufkin.
Good afternoon and welcome to TxDOT's annual Click It or Ticket Safety Campaign event. I'm Melissa McKnight, Traffic Safety Specialist for the Lufkin District, TxDOT. We are thrilled to have you join us today, and by your attendance we know you take seatbelt safety seriously. With us today are some experts in the field of seatbelt safety and awareness. TxDOT annually releases statistics across the state relating to serious injuries and crashes attributed to not wearing seatbelts. Here with us today is the TxDOT Lufkin District Engineer, Cheryl P. Flood, to release the Lufkin District statistics for 2018. Please join me in welcoming Cheryl Flood.
Thank you, Melissa. Each year when these statistics are released, we hope they will decline. Unfortunately, this year they have not. In 2018, there were 2,623 reportable vehicle crashes that resulted in 982 fatalities in Texas, in which occupants failed to wear seatbelts. I'll repeat that. 982 fatalities in Texas, which occupants failed to wear seatbelts. From 2017 to 2018, there is a 6% increase in fatalities and a 3% increase in reportable crashes where seatbelts were not used. Drivers operating a pickup truck are less likely to wear a seatbelt. In 2018, of the 529 pickup truck drivers in Texas in a traffic crash, 258 were not wearing a seatbelt. That is nearly half, 49%, who were not wearing a seatbelt. That number increased from 2017 by alarming 19%. 1 in 5 vehicle crashes in 2018 involved a teen driver. Of the 262 teen drivers and passengers killed in vehicle crashes last year, 111 were unrestrained. That is 42% who were unrestrained at the time of the crash and either died or suffered serious injuries. In the 9-county Lufkin District, there were 82 motor vehicle crashes in which unrestrained occupants sustained fatal or serious injuries. These crashes resulted in 34 fatalities and 56 serious injuries. Within the city of Lufkin in 2018, there were 5 crashes with unrestrained occupants, which resulted in 3 fatalities and 4 serious injuries. Many of these injuries and fatalities were preventable. Wearing a seatbelt is the single most effective way to protect yourself and your loved ones in a vehicle. Choosing to buckle a seatbelt reduces your risk of dying in a crash by 45%. Please choose to buckle up, and when driving, ask all your passengers to buckle up too. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl. We have with us today David Hendry, Texas Highway Patrol Education Officer for the Lufkin District Office. DPS supports year-round the TxDOT safety campaigns, and Click It or Ticket is no exception. We are proud of their support, and we look forward to hearing David tell us what the law says about wearing a seatbelt. Please join me in welcoming David Hendry.
Thank you all for coming today, and thanks, Melissa, for getting us started. I'm proud to be here. We do support this message we have for a long time. Law enforcement agencies throughout Texas during this month from May 20th to June 2nd support the Click It or Ticket safety campaign. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration reports wearing a seatbelt reduces the risk of dying in a crash by up to 45% and up to 60% if you're in a pickup. In addition, there are still an alarming number of drivers who choose not to buckle up at night. It only takes a few seconds to fasten a seatbelt, but it can mean the difference between life and death. We never enjoy handing out tickets, but if doing so influences someone to wear a seatbelt, then that's what we'll do. State law requires everyone in a vehicle to wear a seatbelt or face fines and court costs up to $200. Children younger than 8 must be in a child safety or booster seat. Even one life lost on Texas roadway is too many. We see more and more crashes that occur at night or during early morning hours after bars have been closed, typically 6P to 6A. So if doing so, it's even more important to buckle up at night. It shouldn't be a hard choice for any driver to make. Just know that it increases your chances of living through a crash is enough for me to choose to buckle up, as well as my family and hopefully you guys too. It's initiatives like Click It or Ticket that have worked to educate the public. This campaign is estimated to have saved over 5,000 lives and prevented more than 100,000 injuries, and also saved more than $21 billion in economic costs since 2002. So we hope that you all make the decision to wear a seatbelt. It's a lifestyle. They work. But at the end of the day, it's our responsibility and your responsibility to make sure that you put it on. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Along with the Texas Department of Public Safety, there are many other local law enforcement agencies that support the seatbelt law. We appreciate every law enforcement officer who exercises that extra effort each day to make sure drivers are buckled up. That includes Angelina County Sheriff Greg Sanchez. Within the last few months, his deputies have begun handing out tickets to violators on the roadway. That includes those who choose not to obey the seatbelt law. Please join me in welcoming Sheriff Greg Sanchez.
How y'all doing? And it's good to be here. And man, I'm a firm believer in seatbelts, and you know, working for DPS for many years and seeing the things that happen when people don't wear seatbelts. And this Click It or Ticket is a good campaign. It's a good awareness not only for the citizens but for the officers to make sure they get out there and enforce the law. You know, a lot of people overlook the fact that when you have a collision out there on the roadway, actually there's 3 collisions. There's a collision of the car, a collision of the body, and then the collision of the internal organs inside your body. And so the higher the forces are in that collision, that third collision of the internal organs, a lot of times is what's going to really get a lot of people and cause a lot of fatalities. So we wear a seatbelt in conjunction with other safety devices in the car, like the airbag and everything. But the first thing you got to do is buckle up. And then all these other safety devices will help you. Okay, that works in conjunction with that seatbelt. So it's very important that we remember to wear our seatbelt, that we tell our loved ones to wear a seatbelt, that the law enforcement enforce these laws, whether it be DPS or the county or the city or constables or whoever, that we make sure that we buckle up. And I also would like to remind everybody, we talk about seatbelts, but also another safety device is our child seats and our booster seats, which David hit on. And I used to install a lot of those and enjoyed doing that and got a lot of good reports back from people that later were involved in collisions and would call me or send letters and say, hey, thanks for putting that car seat in, because car seats are the percentage of young children surviving is much higher, even because of the 5-point harness and the way the child seats are made, and they work well. But we have to remember that law that David said under 8. Now I think it's also under 8 unless the child is 4'9". But make sure that they are in a car seat, make sure they're in the correct car seat, make sure they're in there correctly, because they do work, and it will save a lot of our young people's lives out there on the roadway. So just remember, we got holidays coming up, and our deputies will be out there as well, but just tell everybody you can that wearing a seatbelt is the thing to do. It's the cool thing to do. So wear a seatbelt. Thank y'all for letting me come. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff Sanchez. The people who are ticketed for not wearing a seatbelt are the lucky ones. They have not been in a crash yet. When they find out, when they are fined for not wearing a seatbelt, they must report to a judge and pay a fine. Here with us today is Lufkin Municipal Court Judge April Early to tell us what you can expect when you get a ticket for not wearing a seatbelt. and how violations are handled in her court. Please join me in welcoming Judge Early.
Thank you guys for being here this afternoon. It is amazing to see people support this campaign. I think that it is a great campaign to reach those who are not only already buckling their seatbelts, but to those out there who forget to buckle their seatbelts. And as she stated, getting a ticket is probably the luckiest thing that you can do if you are involved in a crash. You come here and you will have to pay a fine. It does range up to $200. You may be able to do defensive driving or have this case dismissed, but there will be a little work involved with that, such as distracted driving classes or something of that nature. So there are some monetary consequences to not wearing your safety belt. And as Mr. Sanchez just stated, our kids, buckling them up it's very, very important. Here at this court, we are advocates of education and preventative measures. So because of that, myself and our city marshal went and became certified car seat technicians so that we would be able to install car seats, check car seats, and then give car seats away to those who do not have car seats so that we could ensure that more kids will be safely and properly restrained and be able to survive crashes, and less parents will have citations for not restraining their kids in safety seats. So I do want to say again, thank you for supporting this campaign, and I am hoping that everyone does pay attention to the increased enforcement for this. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge Early. We appreciate your work and support our local law enforcement and the enforcement of the law. We also appreciate your support of this important campaign, and thank you so much for coming out today, and we hope that you remember to buckle up and buckle up the ones that you love. This concludes our press event for Click It or Ticket, and we want to thank the media for attending and helping us spread the important safety message. And if we can answer any questions for you, please feel free to visit with any of us. Thank you.